Okay, so welcome back to the deep dive. We always try to bring you the most intriguing, the most fascinating, and sometimes the most unsettling topics out there.
Right. And this one definitely fits the bill.
Yeah, this one, I'll tell you, I had to do a lot of prep work for this one, a lot of research, a lot of reading, and I'm still not sure I'm fully prepared to talk about this.
I know, right?
We're diving into a book. The title is Montague, Dim Mak, Death Point Striking.
Just the title alone sends shivers down your
It
spine.
does. It really does. Dim Mak, sometimes called Death Point Striking.
It's rooted in ancient Chinese martial arts, and it really delves into like acupuncture and these energy points on the body.
Yeah, and our mission for this deep dive is to really try to understand, at least as far as this book presents it, the core principles of Dim Mak,
The history behind it, where it came from, how it developed.
and to really look beyond, I think, some of the myths. There's a lot of almost like supernatural stuff that's associated with Dim Mak.
Right, the mystical side of it.
Yeah, but we're trying to get down to the practical knowledge that's shared in this text.
The nuts and
And I
bolts.
got to say, right off the bat, this book does not pull any punches.
No, it does.
It comes out swinging. It says that Dim Mak, when coupled with immaturity, is more dangerous than a gun in the hands of a child.
That's a strong statement.
It is. It's a huge statement, and it kind of sets the tone for the whole book.
It underscores the gravity of what we're talking about here.
Right. Like, this is not a game. This is serious stuff. And what's also fascinating, and maybe a little scary, is that it connects Dim Mak to Tai Chi Chuan.
Which a lot of people think of as this very gentle exercise.
Right. Like you see people in the park doing it, really slow flowing movements.
And who would think that there's this hidden, dangerous side to it?
And according to this book, there is. Okay, so let's jump in. Let's go back in time. Let's talk about the origins of Dim Mak. What does the book tell us about where this all came from?
Okay, so the book lays out this really interesting connection between Dim Mak and Tai Chi Chuan. It suggests that they both originated around the early 14th century.
Okay, so we're going way back.
Yeah, way back. And it all goes back to this one figure, Chang Sun Feng.
Chung Feng. So he's like the granddaddy of Dim Mak.
Yeah, he's considered the originator of both Dim Mak and what eventually became Tai Chi Chuan.
Wow. So those slow, gentle Tai Chi movements, they weren't always so slow and gentle.
No, not according to the book. It says that before the 19th century, what we now know as Tai Chi was actually called Dim Mak,
Oh, wow.
or Hao Chuan, which translates to, like, loose boxing.
So it was a lot more, combat oriented.
Yeah, definitely more focused on fighting, on self-defense.
Interesting. So who was this Chung Feng? What was his background?
Well, the book describes him as an acupuncturist.
An acupuncturist.
Yeah.
So he already had this knowledge of the body and energy points.
Exactly. And he's said to have, along with some others, they really studied the human body in detail.
Like trying to figure out the weak points.
Not just weak points, but specific points that, when struck in very particular ways, could cause the most damage.
So it wasn't just about, hitting someone really hard.
No, it was about precision, about knowing exactly where to strike.
And how to strike, right.
Right. They found that striking these points with a specific screwing motion, either clockwise or counterclockwise.
Clockwise or counterclockwise, like turning your hand.
Yeah, like that. It said that this screwing motion could maximize the damage.
Wow, that's incredible. So it was a lot more nuanced than just brute force.
Yeah, it was about understanding how the body worked, how energy flowed through the body.
And using that knowledge to, I guess, disrupt that energy flow.
Yeah, and to cause serious harm.
And this knowledge was kept pretty secret, right?
Oh, absolutely. Chang San Feng didn't just share this with anyone.
I mean, it makes sense. This is powerful stuff.
Yeah, it was considered very dangerous knowledge. He only passed it down to his family and a few trusted students.
And back then, in feudal China, I can imagine this kind of knowledge being misused pretty easily.
Right, it could be used for evil just as easily as for good.
So there was a good reason to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, it was about protecting the knowledge and making sure it didn't fall into the wrong hands.
Wow, so those Tai Chi movements we see today, they really could be disguising something a lot more dangerous.
That's what the book suggests, that the true meaning of those movements, the martial applications, they've been lost over time.
Except maybe within certain families or lineages.
Right. The true knowledge has been passed down through generations, but it's kept very secret.
And the book even suggests that modern masters of Dim Mak might have even more knowledge than the original founders. How is that even possible?
Well, it argues that back then, in the 14th century, they didn't have the same understanding of the human body that we do now.
Right, they didn't have MRIs and X-rays and all that,
Exactly. So their knowledge was based on observation, experience, and their understanding of energy flow.
which is still impressive, but
Yeah. But now, with our knowledge of anatomy, physiology, we can map out those vulnerable points even more precisely.
and we can understand exactly why striking those points has the effects it does, like, disrupting nerve signals, affecting blood flow.
Right. We can explain it in scientific terms as well as in terms of energy.
Fascinating. Okay, so we've talked about the history, the origins of Dim Mak. Now let's delve into the core principles, the fundamental ideas behind this art. What does the book say about how Dim Mak actually works?
Okay, so at its core, Dim Mak is about striking very specific points on the body. These are the same points used in acupuncture.
Okay, the acupuncture
So
points.
the intention is different. In Dim Mak, the goal is to cause harm.
Yeah, I mean, the name death point striking kind of gives that away.
Right. It's about disrupting the body's vital functions, causing knockouts, immobilization, even death.
So it's not about just being really strong or fast.
No, not necessarily. The book emphasizes that Dim Mak is about precision, correct teaching, and understanding how energy flows through the body.
They call it ki, right?
Yeah, key. And they say that even a small person can affect a larger person with Dim Mak.
Just by knowing where to strike.
Exactly. It's about leverage,
Right.
about using the body's own energy against it.
And the book talks about different types of ki, this idea of inner ki versus outer ki. Can you explain that?
Sure. So in acupuncture, the focus is often on outer ki.
Which is like the surface level energy.
Yeah, it's the energy that flows along the meridians, close to the skin.
And that's what acupuncture needles manipulate. Right.
Right. But Dim Mak, according to the book, aims to affect inner ki.
Which is deeper.
Yeah, it's a deeper level of energy, and it's said to flow in the opposite direction of outer ki.
So it's like a hidden current, almost.
Exactly. And affecting that inner ki is what causes the really serious effects.
Makes sense. And the book also mentions the importance of timing in Dim Mak. Like, striking a point at a certain time of day can make it more effective.
Yeah, that's a really fascinating aspect. It's based on the idea that different meridians and the organs they're associated with have periods of higher activity at certain times of day.
Like, the body's energy is on a schedule.
Exactly. And knowing that schedule is crucial for maximizing the effect of a Dim Mak strike, the book actually refers to an organ times chart.
An organ times chart, like when each organ is most vulnerable.
Yeah, it lays out the optimal times to strike certain points for the greatest impact.
Wow. It's almost like planning an attack based on the body's internal clock.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, so we've got the precise points, the different types of ki, the timing. What else is important for a successful Dim Mak strike?
Well, the book talks about something called Hsing.
The Hsing. What is that?
It's translated as explosive energy. It's the force behind the strike.
Like just hitting really hard.
No, it's more than that. It's about generating a very focused, concentrated burst of power.
Using the whole body.
Exactly. It's not just about the arm or the leg. It's about engaging your entire body in the strike.
So it's almost like building up this internal pressure and then releasing it all at once.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. It's about focusing your energy, your intention into that single strike.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got the theory down. Let's talk about some specific examples. The book mentions stomach 9 as a classic knockout point. What makes that one so dangerous?
Well, stomach 9 is located on the neck near the Adam's apple.
Oh, yeah, I know where that is. It's a sensitive spot.
Yeah, it is. And striking it can affect the carotid sinus.
The carotid sinus.
It's a bundle of nerves that helps regulate blood pressure and heart rate.
Oh, wow. So hitting it can really mess with your body systems.
Exactly. A sharp strike to stomach 9 can cause a sudden drop in blood pressure, leading to a knockout.
And that's just the immediate effect, right?
Right. The book also warns of delayed death or stroke.
So it's not something to mess around with.
No, it's a very serious point. They specifically say not to use it in demonstrations without understanding the risks.
Yeah, it sounds like even a slight miscalculation could have devastating consequences.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about another point? Conceptor vessel 14. The book calls that an instant death point.
Yeah, conceptor vessel 14, or CV14 for short.
CV14, where is that one located?
It's right on the midline of the body, just below the sternum.
Oh, so right in the center of the chest.
Yeah. And the book says that a forceful strike to CV14 can stop the heart.
Stop the heart. Wow.
Yeah, it's considered an instant death point. It's really emphasizing the lethal potential of Dim Mak.
Pretty scary stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's gallbladder 20 at the base of the skull. It's described as both a revival point and a knockout point. How does that work?
Yeah, gallbladder 20 or GIB 20 is an interesting one.
Like a two-sided coin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It can be used to revive someone who's unconscious, but it can also cause a knockout.
So it all depends on how you strike it.
Yeah, the angle, the force, the intention behind the strike, it all plays a role.
Fascinating. And the book also talks about how some Dim Mak points can be used for healing as well as harm.
Yeah, it goes into the idea that some points have both martial and healing applications.
So it's not just about causing damage.
No, it's about understanding the body's energy system and how to manipulate it for different purposes.
And there are even antidotes to certain strikes.
Right. Like striking bladder 10 on the back of the neck is said to cause kidney failure.
But massaging kidney 1 on the sole of the foot can counteract that.
Yeah, it's like an emergency brake for the body's energy system.
Wow. Okay, so beyond these specific points, the book also talks about body posture and vision, like this seaback and eagle vision. What's their significance in Dim Mak?
Okay, so the seaback is described as a specific way of holding your spine.
Like a curved back.
Yeah, like a slight C shape. And the book says this posture is key for generating power in Dim Mak.
It's about being in a state of readiness.
Exactly. It's about engaging your core, aligning your body, and being ready to strike.
And eagle vision, that sounds pretty intense.
It is. It's about using both your focused vision and your peripheral vision at the same time.
So you can see everything that's going on around you.
Right. It's about anticipating attacks, seeing subtle movements, being aware of your surroundings.
Wow. This is all a lot to take in. It's like a whole other way of understanding the human body.
It is. It's a very complex and nuanced system.
And a potentially very dangerous one.
Yeah, definitely not something to be taken lightly.
So to sum up, what would you say are the key takeaways from this deep dive into Dim Mak?
Okay, so Dim Mak, as presented in this book, is a serious martial art.
With a long history, right?
Yeah, going back centuries.
Hmm.
And it's deeply connected to acupuncture and the concept of ki.
It's about precision, not brute force.
Exactly. It's about understanding the body's energy system and knowing how to disrupt it.
And there's a lot more to it than just hitting certain points.
Right. The timing, the force, the intention, it all plays a role.
And some points can even be used for healing.
Yeah, there's a whole other side to Dim Mak that's about restoring balance to the body.
Fascinating. And a little bit terrifying, to be honest.
I know what you mean. It's powerful knowledge.
Yeah, and it really makes you think about the hidden potential within the human body, both for good and for bad.
It does. It raises a lot of questions about the limits of our understanding of the body and the power of these ancient practices.
And it makes you wonder, how much of this knowledge is still out there, hidden away.
Passed down through generations, maybe just whispered about in hushed tones.
Yeah, it's definitely food for thought.
And maybe a little bit of a reason to be cautious about who you mess with.
Right. You never know who might have a little Dim Mak knowledge up their sleeve.
Exactly.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, it has.
And for all of you listening out there, stay curious, stay skeptical, and maybe stay away from any dimly lit alleys.
Good advice.
Yeah, you never know what you might find.
Or who might find you.
Until next time, this is The Deep Dive. Signing off.
See you next time.